Hello, my loves. Good morning. It's morning where I am. I wanted to share some reflections on how the influence of this Saturday's new moon in Virgo has been influencing me and how you may be feeling this energy as well. It's probably one of the most potent, transformational passages that we've gone through since the Lion's Gate. And I'm gonna take my shoes off here. And I wanted to bring this topic forward because it's a really important kind of bridge period that I'm sure you're feeling, and one that we should be giving some space and some time to actually really feel into what's coming up. Because this time is all about complete reinvention around the areas of integrity, of service, and also about identity. So how you're showing up in the world. And you may have noticed old patterns coming up, but in a different way. Maybe being able to see those patterns reflected in your behavior or in orchestrations that are coming through into your everyday life, into your business life, in ways that are making it so clear that maybe these things weren't noticed before. Maybe they were sneakily being hidden. I'm going to change my hand here. And could be ignored, could be overlooked, wasn't obvious enough to really nail it and say, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe this pattern has been going on. I haven't been fully aware of it. That time is gone. This window has been about being able to illuminate those things in such a way that we can't ignore it anymore. And in doing so, it's really giving us an opportunity to fully reinvent through our identity and how we are choosing to be. And not just that, but also looking at our physical vessel as the way that we channel our true identity, our soul identity, through into the physical world. So what that's been looking like for me, I'll give you one example in case this is something that you can relate to. So this past new moon was in the sign of Virgo. I'm not an astrologist, but cannot deny that the influence of the celestial bodies are just undeniable. So Virgo is a lot about perfection, refinement. It's about structure. And it's about really grounding in practical ways the visions that we may have into our everyday reality. And so what became really clear for me, even last week, it was just becoming more and more clear as we're getting closer and closer into Virgo season, which is September, which we're not there yet, but we're already, well, I guess technically we are starting to really bridge into that Virgo energy of September, is how much perfectionism has been holding me back, preventing me, without me even realizing, from doing things that allow me to show up fully in service, that allow me to truly be my true identity, not the egoic expression of who I am. And in such subtle ways that I wasn't even noticing it. So this distortion of perfectionism that was coming through, because I have Virgo in my chart, and perhaps you do too. I don't know if it's something that everybody has. Like I said, I'm not an astrologer, but what I know for sure is that this particular energy that we're in is illuminating those areas where that might be coming up for us. And so I was noticing, it came very clear very quickly, like, oh my gosh, this has been holding me back in ways that I didn't even realize. Like, to be specific, holding me back because if I couldn't do something perfect enough, I wouldn't do it at all. And I realized that that was actually at the root of what I was just perceiving as avoidance or procrastination for who knows, many different reasons. But at the root of it was this. And I was like, oh my God. First of all, how simple, because now that I know that, what I'm basically looking at myself for and calling myself up to do is like, it doesn't need to be perfect. Progress over perfection. Allowing myself the freedom, I was going to say grace, but really it's the freedom to be completely imperfect according to what my ego mind may say, and just do the thing that I'm inspired to do in that moment anyway. And in small enough chunks that I have no reason to resist anymore. Does that make sense? Can anybody else relate to this? I know it's not just me. And so this is one of those examples. So we are away for several days now, visiting with family. And as much as I wanted to do some things to share, to post, etc., I didn't put that as a priority necessarily for this time because, we wanted to do some things outside the box, outside of our regular routine. We're with family. Technically, it's like a holiday time. And yet I got the inspiration this morning while I was out for a walk with Theo and Brian. And it really hit me as soon as I got back to the room. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, let's share a few words on this. So for example, I still have bedhead. I haven't washed my face yet. I've hydrated, had a sip of a drink, and I'm imperfect, right? I'm imperfect in that moment in terms of who I would normally want to show up as on a video share of any kind. However, the inspiration landed, and the awareness is already in my consciousness now that what would be stopping me from wanting to share? What would be stopping me from making a video recording? Well, just the idea that it's not perfect enough. Let me wait. It's a great topic, my mind might say, in the past. Well, it still says it now, but I'm not listening in the same way. It's a great idea. That would be a great thing to talk about. Oh, it's perfectly timed too. Why don't you just make a couple of notes? And then after you've had your shower, brushed your teeth, maybe had a little more to hydrate so you feel fresher, then record something. You'll look better, you'll sound better, you'll come across better. And that is the devil in disguise, so to speak, for me. So instead of falling back into that pattern, into that trap, what am I doing? I'm recording a video. I'm not caring how I look. Right now, I'm not even sure where I'm looking. But you get my point, right? Because it's not, at least for me, and see how this resonates with you. If it doesn't, that's fine. For me, I know that my soul's intention is to show up as the frequency I'm here, that is my unique signature. Show up as that and let my energy and my frequency and my voice and the pattern that's in that come forward and forget about the physicality, right? Knowing that whomever is supposed to receive the message will receive the message. They won't be looking at, oh my God, look at her hair. Oh, wow. She looks so tired. Is that the same shirt she wore last time? Right? So what is it for you? What have you noticed? Is this aspect of perfectionism holding you back in some way? And this is really the crux of what I wanted to bring forward today, because I can see it in myself. Ooh, huge, huge. So many times, I mean, I would say it's pretty much been a default setting to avoid moving forward on things if I couldn't do them perfectly. But the reality is if you don't do the thing that comes through as the inspiration in the moment when it comes, you're missing the opportunity. And I'm speaking from experience, big time. And speaking from the wisdom that I know so deeply and I speak to, which is living as that frequency, that the soul's message, your message from your higher self and your soul, is coming through in that moment because the moment is there. There's an aliveness. There is a readiness. We're tapping into that thread from the collective, from the field of infinite intelligence, which is connected to and is collective consciousness. I won't get into it, but the point is there is something that is a need, and we are being called in those moments to fulfill for us, for others, for the collective, for the greater good of all. And when we ignore that message in that moment, we are ignoring the call to show up as who we are, as the physical embodiment of our true divine self, who is here to share, to create, to be in this experience, and to do our part. This is where the service piece comes in. So even in these fleeting little ideas that seem so trivial, they're not what they appear to be. So where are you perhaps listening to that inner dialogue that's saying, not now, I'll do it later. Oh, that's a great idea, but I couldn't do it now because look at me. Or I couldn't do it now because, well, I haven't practiced that yet. Or I want to refine that more. Sometimes there is a call for refinement, 100%. But I would hazard to guess that more often than not, that voice that is asking to refine or perfect something may not be your highest self, but perhaps that may be coming from the lower mind. And I'm going to invite you now, in this energy that we are dancing with now as we move through this next phase, going into September, to start to ignore that. To start to take yourself up to another level. Take the challenge, so to speak, and just be who you are. In that moment, ignore the inner dialogue that says, wait, do it next time. Do it a little bit later. You're not quite ready yet. You're not polished enough. It was a fleeting idea. Haven't thought it through yet. Whatever it may be. Whether it's starting a new way of eating, whether it's having to do with how you are going to show up with your kids, or how you're going to show up with your partner, or how you're going to show up for your body. Are you going to stop and not start doing that daily walk because, well, I need better shoes. I don't really have the right gear. I don't have pants that I'd feel comfortable walking around in. This is all my old stuff. Forget about it all. Just do the thing. Just do the thing. And then let me know how you feel. Because this is so strong in so many of us. I'm being corrected in all of us right now. Because we are in, what's the better word for need? It's a must to be able to show up as who we came here to be. Not who our mind is telling us we should be, but to just show up. Let all the old identity fall away and watch how the radiance begins to permeate from you as you simply be yourself in every moment. And yes, it may feel clumsy in the beginning. Lord knows I know that. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Your frequency And I say frequency specifically because frequency, the word frequency, refers to your unique soul signature. That is your frequency. And it vibrates at a certain melody. That is trying to come through. We assume that it will come through imperfectly if we allow it to flow in the moment when it's ready to come through. But the reality is the more we allow that to just come through, the more perfect it actually is. And we just have to trust and know that whatever is going to take place in that moment, if you can just relax into your body, relax the mind, and just allow it to flow, that will be the most perfect expression you could ask for. Confirmation from Theo. Okay, I gotta go. We're not supposed to be barking. So much love.